Hi friends, today I am going to tell you 5 mistakes that you should avoid if you have IBS. Let's understand what is IBS. IBS is basically irritable bowel syndrome, and irritable bowel syndrome is a group of symptoms that gets presented at a time, and it is a very uncomfortable disease for your gastrointestinal tract. So what are the symptoms of IBS? Number 1 is abdominal cramps, then at times there is diarrhea, at times there is constipation, or at times there is combination of both. People experience diarrhea and constipation at a time. There is bloating or flatulence, there is loss of appetite or feeling of fullness suddenly once you eat even small portion of food, or there is mucus in stools. What are the types of IBS? IBS can be one with constipation where the stools are hard and lumpy. IBS can be with diarrhea where the stools are loose or watery, and IBS can be with mixed symptoms. That is, the person may experience IBS with once there will be diarrhea and once there will be constipation. Modern science has identified a communication between the gut and the brain. So if there is any challenge in the communication between these two, it may be the cause behind IBS. Other identified causes of IBS are dysmotility. If there is overmotility or undermotility of the intestine, it can cause IBS. Number 2 is childhood stress. If an individual is subjected to lot of childhood stress or stress during their childhood, it can make the person susceptible to develop IBS in their adulthood. Number 3, if a person is allergic to food or if he is sensitive to certain group of foods for a long period of time, it can also cause IBS. Number 5 is altered good bacteria in the intestine. That is, there are certain microbes which are essential for the gut, for the normal functioning of the gut. But if there is overgrowth or undergrowth in the good bacteria, that is, if there is any kind of alteration in the good bacteria, it may cause IBS. Also, if there is any history of infections of the gut, for example, a history of typhoid or history of cholera or dysentery, if there is any kind of history of infections of the gut, it can be a cause of IBS. So if you are experiencing these kind of symptoms for a period of time, then you should consult your doctor. And if you have been identified with these kind of symptoms or diagnosed with IBS, then these are the 5 things that you should avoid if you have IBS. Number 1 mistake is taking excess of mental stress. As I have already said before, that stress can be one of the factor that will cause and also aggravate the symptoms of IBS, because as there is some connection between the gut and the brain, there is release of excess of neurotransmitters that will irritate the gut and it will aggravate the symptoms. So any kind of stress, let it be work stress or home stress or relationship stress, any stress around you is going to aggravate the symptoms of IBS. Number 2 is, if you are having IBS with constipation, then the food that you should avoid is maida, that is refined flour, because refined flour gets stuck to the intestinal walls and the motility of the intestine gets hampered. The intestine is not able to move in the appropriate manner as it is expected, and the excreta doesn't go to the sigmoid colon, that is the last part of your intestine, and it doesn't go out of the body, and it will unnecessarily make the gut inflamed, that is, it will make the intestine more irritable and aggravate your symptoms. Along with it, you should also avoid foods like potato chips or any starchy food. The reason is the same. Again, it is going to get stuck into the intestinal walls and it is going to hamper the digestion process or the motility of the intestine. Also, avoid eating high protein diet, because protein requires a lot of secretion of enzymes to its final metabolism and it getting converted into glucose. So excess of secretion of enzymes also are also going to make your intestine inflamed or more irritable, and it will aggravate the symptoms. So having a balanced diet is very important if you are having IBS along with constipation. Two mistakes that you should avoid is eating of hot and cold foods together in one meal. That is, if you are having ice cold water and hot shimmering soup at a time in a meal is going to make your gut more irritable. So avoid doing that. Number 4 is the foods that you should avoid if you have IBS related with diarrhea. That is IBS with diarrhea. That is, one is you should avoid taking excess of fibers, okay, because fiber is going to create roughage in your intestine. Fiber is necessary for normal digestion, is for the people who have normal digestive process. But if you are taking excess of fiber on a daily basis, like if you are eating more of leafy vegetables on a regular basis, or if you are eating the fruits along with its skin, it contains high amount of fibers, and the fibers are going to create excess of roughage, which is finally going to create more motility of the intestine. And more motility itself means the food which is in the intestine or the food that is get consumed are going to get washed out of the body with the same speed. So it is going to increase the motility of the intestine and aggravate the symptoms of diarrhea. Along with that, those who have IBS with diarrhea should also keep in mind that you should stop consuming large meals, because large meals are going to get taken at one time. Again, the reason being same, it is going to increase the motility of the intestine. So more amount of food will be passed out of the body with the proportion that you are eating. So you should avoid taking large meals at a time. Number 5 is stop being a couch potato, because no physical activity is going to aggravate the symptoms of IBS. The physical activity that you do is going to create a fire inside the digestive system, and that fire is going to help you have a good digestion of the food, because the fire is very essential for metabolism of the macro elements as well as the micro elements. So no physical activity is not going to help. Some kind of physical activity, let it be yoga or walking or running daily of up to 30 minutes, is going to improve the digestive function. Also, it is going to help reduce the other symptoms of IBS like bloating. It will reduce the flatulence, because there will be internal churning of your intestine and as well as the stomach. So having a daily physical activity is very important for reduction of the symptoms. So these are the 5 mistakes that you should avoid if you have IBS. So friends, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe Food Travel Talks. I'll keep coming up with new videos. Till then, keep watching. Stay tuned. Bye.